Welcome back to our journey through the fascinating world of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime's Light Novel. Let's continue from the last part, where we left.
Rimuru tried to reassure Gada, explaining that their victory against the tanks was possible with the right approach, but it might come with losses. He emphasized that defense was harder than attacking, especially for inexperienced fighters like their green numbers. Gaba asked what they should do, and Rimuru deferred to Benimaru, admitting he was also inexperienced in military strategy. Benimaru explained their plan, assuring Gada that while losing the lodging town wouldn't be ideal, it was replaceable, and civilians had already been evacuated to Rimuru's capital for safety. Once Rimuru learned about the Empire's movement, he ordered the evacuation of the affected areas, ensuring the safety of civilians. Benimaru then instructed Gaba to assist with the evacuation and later defend the Dwarven Kingdom alongside their armed forces. Gaba initially didn't grasp the strategy but became excited when he realized his role in defending their allies. This plan was based on Ghidorah's information and Gazelle approved it. Rimuru informed Gazelle about the Empire's target, the Dwarven Kingdom, promising backup. Gazelle, sensing the Empire's intentions, accepted the offer. Rimuru saw the Empire's move as a tactic to provoke a response from them, or the Dwarven Kingdom. Gaba understood the situation, impressing Rimuru with his grasp of the concept. The route the Empire took was to attract attention and assess their opponent's reactions. If they sensed interference, they might use it as a reason to attack. Rimuru explained the situation to Gaba, who understood. Benimaru then explained the Empire's strategy on the map, showing how they would reach a strategic point overlooking the Dwarven Kingdom's entrance. He emphasized that King Gazelle and their group would confront the Empire there, risking hostility if they didn't act. Benimaru proposed a direct assault to surprise the Empire, tapping Gaba's peg enthusiastically. Gabel, tasked with guarding evacuees, pledged to assist Gaba once they reached him, ensuring swift support against the Empire's advance. Gabel seemed confident, but realistically, it was going to be tough. Evacuating tens of thousands of people would take time, especially with the Empire's swift mobility. They could cover about 40 miles a day thanks to Legion magic and soldiers' enhancements allowing them to march without food or drink for a week. The tanks, moving at 6 or 7 miles an hour, could resupply themselves with atmospheric magicules. Benimaru warned everyone not to be caught off guard by the Empire's rapid advance. He then explained how the Empire planned to deceive them, using their main army as a distraction while sending their real forces through the forest of Jura. This plan didn't surprise them, as they could see it all on their monitors. Now, even if things get bigger than we're expecting here, Geld's got this area covered. Geld, bring your forces back quickly, Benimaru instructed. Already taken care of. My forces are gathering as we speak, Geld responded promptly. It was clear Benimaru and Geld were on the same page, a few words and everything was arranged. Benimaru turned his attention back to the map, explaining the Empire's likely advancement through the forest, hidden from their monitoring magic. So I, understanding the challenge, stood up. The forest is dense, making it hard to monitor from above, so we're relying on Moss. He's using tiny replications to gather information without risking our agents being discovered. Right now, Moss is keeping an eye on the eastern forest of Jura, spotting Imperial troops advancing, allowing us to deal with them as needed. Watching Benimaru outline the plan with a menacing smile, Rimuru felt a twinge of fear, even though he was on their side. While they were confident in handling the smaller enemy groups, the sheer size of the main force still concerned him. Benimaru's strategy was straightforward: wait for the Imperial force to assemble near the dungeon, then strike decisively. Despite the simplicity of the plan, Rimuru remained uneasy about their numerical disadvantage. Before he could voice his concerns, the control center erupted with declarations of readiness for battle. Gabil, Gapta, and Benimaru rallied their troops with assurances of victory, instilling confidence in their abilities to defend their homeland. The atmosphere was charged with optimism and determination, with even non-military members eagerly joining the preparations for war. Feeling the weight of their numerical disadvantage, Rimuru couldn't shake off his anxiety, despite the team's confidence. Even Gapta, now enthusiastic, didn't ease his worries, especially with Hakuro as his advisor. When Rimuru asked if anyone had questions, they were met with resolute assurance from Benimaru, who emphasized their determination to fight with everything they had. They weren't afraid of losing, but rather of not giving their all in battle. Testarossa. Ultima. Carrera, yes, sir. The three demonesses responded promptly to Rimuru's call. He assigned each of them to accompany a different army corps and support their operations. Testarossa assured Rimuru of her dedication, mentioning that Cian would handle the council in her absence. Ultima expressed excitement at finally getting into action, while Carrera promised to showcase her full power. Rimuru nodded approvingly at their enthusiasm and gave them their assignments. Testarossa, you'll join Gaba gladly, she replied. Gaba seemed unsure. You sure about that? This girl's never even fought before. Can she keep up with the First Corps was a bold statement, but Gaba's courage impressed Rimuru. He thought to himself that she might retaliate, but kept quiet, finding it more entertaining this way. I'm glad to be of such help, Testarossa said with a smile, though Rimuru noticed that nobody could meet her gaze. He silently reassured Gaba that an apology would likely be accepted. Rimuru couldn't wait for Gaba to discover Testarossa's true identity. Gabul had really improved. He was polite to Ultima and looked forward to her help. Ultima was known as the toughest of the three demonesses, and even Diablo said she was scary. Rimuru thought she would follow orders well and keep an eye on the enemy soldiers. Gabul did a good job dealing with Ultima, who seemed to respect him and said yes to his ideas. It looked like Gabul had learned to control his quick actions, which probably helped him avoid mistakes. From Geld's confident handshake with Carrera, it was evident that they both exuded a noble warrior aura. Rimuru felt satisfied with the pairings, recognizing the potential danger if Gaba and Gabul had swapped roles. Despite his apprehensions about the demonesses, Rimuru ensured secrecy about their identities, trusting them to follow orders and remain discreet. Though uncertain about their reliability, Rimuru acknowledged the need to trust them for now, especially considering their potential to handle emergencies alongside the army. With the main topics settled, the next steps would depend on the Empire's actions. Cooperation with King Gazelle would be crucial, but that was a task for the strategic headquarters. When Masayuki raised a question about his role as a general in the volunteer army, Rimuru understood his confusion. Being appointed a general at a young age could be puzzling, especially for someone from a peaceful background. Rimuru empathized, recalling his own unexpected journey to becoming a demon lord without guidance. Despite the uncertainties, Rimuru considered Masayuki fortunate to have been given such responsibilities. Rimuru asked Masayuki if he agreed, but Masayuki seemed confused and asked for more details. Rimuru tried to make it simpler, saying he felt bad for putting so much on Masayuki all at once. He knew Masayuki was good at calming people down, especially when they were worried. Masayuki got it and was ready to do his part. Rimuru was happy about this and told Masayuki he was a hero for wanting to help those who needed it most. Muromile eagerly appealed to Masayuki, his eyes shining with excitement. Despite Muromile's misunderstanding of Masayuki's abilities, Rimuru saw no reason to correct him. Rimuru suspected that even Hinata had misconceptions about Masayuki. Observing Masayuki's reluctance, Rimuru empathized with his discomfort but remained hopeful for his cooperation. Explaining Masayuki's role in maintaining public order, Rimuru highlighted Ramirez's efforts to minimize damage to the town during the impending war. Rimuru had already shared this information with his cabinet and others, allowing rumors to circulate freely to ease fears. Ramirez proudly credited her strength to Rimuru's support, emphasizing their friendship as a source of victory. Ramirez was the one who worked hard to move the city into the labyrinth, but it wouldn't function without Veldora's power. Rimuru genuinely thanked them both for their assistance. Ramirez and Veldora basked in the praise, jokingly asking for more compliments. Despite their playful banter, Rimuru acknowledged their significant contributions. Even with the city inside the dungeon, the sky would still be visible, and most citizens wouldn't notice any changes. Rimuru was impressed by the security it provided against the Empire's violence. However, Veldora reminded Rimuru that if he were defeated and the Empire breached the 100th floor, the town would return to the surface. Rimuru wasn't too worried about it, confident that Veldora wouldn't lose, and if it came to that, the town's safety would be the least of their concerns. If it did, everyone would be focused solely on the fight, not worrying about the city. Veldora boasted he wouldn't lose, and Rimuru agreed, mentioning the 10 dungeon marvels as an additional defense. Despite Ramirez suggesting Veldora wouldn't play a significant role, Rimuru still considered Masayuki as a backup plan. Masayuki was hesitant, not having led an army before, but Rimuru assured him Hinata would send a crusader aide to assist him. Rimuru also arranged for the kids to serve as Masayuki's bodyguards, ensuring their safety. Masayuki understood, knowing the kids' capabilities and relying on Chloe to keep them safe if things got tough. So that was everything they needed to talk about. They were fully prepared, but until the end came, there was no telling what could happen. Rimuru had concerns, especially since Chloe had vivid memories of their death. They knew someone in the Empire had the power to kill them, which was a troubling fact. The 10 dungeon marvels were in place to reveal the enemy's powers, but Rimuru appreciated Raphael always prioritizing their safety. However, they had to brace themselves and protect their friends, no matter what. With that resolve in their heart, Rimuru ended the day's meeting. Masayuki's speech to the people seemed to have gone well. It seemed like they saw him as someone who convinced the demon lord to protect the city. Despite his conflicted feelings, the crowd saw him as attractive and a great leader. They believed in him and Rimuru to defend against the Empire. As life in Tempest continued, war suddenly broke out one hot summer night, ending their days of peace.
That's it for today, guys, and thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned for next chapter. Until then, goodbye.